Welcome to another week in May. It's been sunny. Hopefully, you had a good Mother's Day and life treated you well. And if you're a mom, that you got treated too. So that was kind of the more important part of the whole thing. I'm going to share a screen and we're going to talk about Phoenix Business Exchange, and then we're going to go into an educational minute. Then you get to meet the crew that are here today, and they are an animated crew. They're witty, charming, but more importantly, they're good business folk to connect with. Yes, Sam, even you. Uh, I just, Sam is a great person to have a chat with. I'm going to share the screen now, and if you want to check out our website, it's pbex.ca. That's pbex.ca. And a member of the week is Jacqueline Richards, and Jacqueline does mortgages. And you want to know more about that? You have to be in Ontario. That helps. Or you're buying something in Ontario. That helps. Those two pieces help. Jacqueline's e-card is right here, and Jacqueline probably can do if you need mortgages elsewhere, she can work that into the solution path too. I'm going to stop there because next thing you know we'll be talking about mortgages, and we will actually in a few seconds. Jacqueline Z card's here. You want to see Jacqueline talk? That's just click on that YouTube video and she'll talk about stuff in regards to buying housing and or accommodations. Monday morning, 8 to 9 Eastern. That's now. Click here if you're looking to come on in, and it's always going to be on the website. Then Wednesday morning, we're going to do the same thing, except it's Wednesday, 8 to 9 Eastern. And that's the East group, and the South group is 8 to 9 on Thursday. May 26th, 7 p.m. After hours group, and that's about accountability, staying on target with your goals. It's not so much to strong arm you as opposed to just to remind you and to keep you on track to help you stay accountable to yourself. Upcoming member events are happening right in here. And by the way, Cat Herd helps populate that information, and reach out to Cat Herd. Great soul to know and good at social media. Canada Growth Network meets today at 1 p.m. Eastern, free to attend. Ben Joya is showing up for that one, and he is talking about how to prep a book, and you'll see more details in the chat. East Trade Winds, we're also meeting tomorrow, 8 to 9 Eastern, free to attend. Both these events are free to attend. Come on in, meet folks in the Ontario, Canada, across the world. East End, we're meeting on May 20th, next week, at Hive. This group will not be meeting on Monday because Monday is Victoria's Day. So don't show up here. I mean, you can. Loneliness is not the requisite action plan here. South End group is meeting on the 28th and in person. So at Hive, 1745 Courtwood, River Lounge just south of Hunt Club on Prince of Wales. And the QR directory full members, click here and you'll find out more details about who's here, what they do. The e-card, that's something that is part of membership, and it's one of the elements that helps support your business. And the e-card is a quick and easy way to have someone reach out to you and connect with you. It reduces that friction point. 5.8 million, well, actually not 5.8, that 5,008,000 plus dollars has been transacted between members since 2016. And overall referrals year to date is 24,000 and a half dollars worth of transactions between members. And with that, I'm going to stop share. We're going to get an educational minute from the ever wonderful and popular Jacqueline Richards. Jacqueline, over to you, ma'am.
Oh, I like that popular. That's true in the yogic space. And I have to say, what a beautiful sunrise. I did take a moment and open my door, took a long, deep breath. I lifted my shoulders, I took them back, and I dropped them down, and I extended my arms, saying, thank you for being such an extraordinary season. And, spring really is more than just a season, it's a reset. The flowers bloom. I send out all my flower seeds up to my clients who I've known, who I've helped them grow. I talk about energy shifts, and it's not just about families, it's about the season of beginnings. And that includes often, I'm a mortgage honey, and it's about buying, selling, refinancing, or renewing your mortgage. And there's something even more important. It's not just about financial decisions, it's about energetic decisions. So it affects your peace of mind, it affects your sleep, all of these thoughts, the relationships. And then it's about, your future freedom. So before you rush into the spring market, although it was fantastic on Sunday, happy Mama's Day, there's three really important mortgage tips I have to help you ground with. For you, your family, maybe it's the kids, maybe it's the aunts, uncles, cousins, about financial and emotional stability. So, tip number one, know your real budget. You know, numbers are numbers and know your real mortgage. It's not about just what's in the bank, it's what can you spend. The number allows you to breathe deeply. It allows you to travel safely and enjoy your life. Know your numbers because a dream home, a dream refinance, a dream savings should not just rest on your home. Tip number two, spring clean your credit. I tell you, when I open my door, I lift my shoulders, take a breath, release it down. And when I'm spring cleaning, that includes my credit. Know what your Equifax says. Before applying for any small balances, I see credit card companies saying, hey, it's time, spring clean your credit and buy and decide. Think about what you're going to be doing with potential new payments if you decide to pull in other small balances. So it's credit cards, it is those small, fast loans. That's a dangerous moment. You know, these small improvements that you make to your credit score improves you and your mortgage options. And number three, I think I'm at three, go beyond the rate. It's not just about the lowest rate, it's about the best mortgage for you. It's about the flexibility, it's about penalties. People forget there are penalties when you move and groove with your mortgage. And think about long-term goals. So if nothing else, and you're biting on the best tomatoes ever, remember this, the spring market can feel competitive, it can feel emotional. Stay focused, stay sane, and align your vision. When you're looking for strategies for your mortgage money, you always need to contact your mortgage honey. And thank you for that minute.
Jacqueline, thank you so much. And we're live on LinkedIn, so you can put your contact details, any offers, you want something to relate, you got something on the go. There you go. And use the @ symbol for someone's name, and it'll help make it populate and push out the content. And I'm going to swing the mic around, and who's looking up to the screen? Oh, Eric, you looked up. You shouldn't have done that, man. Eric goes out.
Everybody's looking up.
I know, but it was Eric. I'm going to start off with you and swing over to Kara Lee. Eric, go ahead, sir. What's happening?
Good morning, Bernie. Lots of things are happening in near the end of tax season because I wear another hat. I am the VP of Finance of the Bridalwood Community Association. So 2 weeks ago, we had a food drive that raised 40,000 pounds or 40,000 kilos for the Kanata Food Bank. In June, my firm will be exhibiting, or setting an exhibit in the Bridalwood block party, where lots of merchants come and exhibit in the parking lot of the Eva James Center. So that's what I do when I am not being an accountant. Well, I'm still being an accountant in the other side, but because you can never stop being an accountant. But that's what I do in my free time, other than playing soccer. Soccer, Brotherhood does not, community association does not impinge on my soccer because my soccer comes second after my practice. Everything else is third. I represent the firm of Cote and Associates Professional Corporation. We're accountants and management consultants. We're located in Kanata. We have just gone through a tax season that we saw lots of people coming. The average, like to give you an idea of what we do, we don't do easy taxes unless it's someone that is already a client from a corporation that we do, or it's someone that is a friend, of the firm. or someone that we've had for many years. But the average, like the last tax return I've done, the they I gave him a discount and the price was $1,500. Now, what would you say for a tax return of $1,500? It had 150 5008s. It had 55 T3s. It had 15 T5s. It had 7 properties that was rented. Now, that's the type of return that comes here to be done. And people who can go to Staples and buy a tax program and put their T4 in and that kind of stuff. That we do, but it's usually unfelt by the practice. We also do people like my daughter and her husband, that are in, are imposing on us, but we don't charge. But that's what an accountant does today. The after May 1st, we go back to our corporations, and we have much more settled life. And in the corporations, we do people who are in business, who are incorporated, who have year ends, and we do corporate tax returns, we do financial planning, we do lots of planning with the business. We can be reached at 613-254-7310. We bring reason to numbers and numbers to reason. Thank you, Bernie.
Eric, thank you so much. And for Tomorrow East Trade Winds, it's Adam Revez from One Inch Punch Productions. He does video. And Kara Lee, and then we will swing over to Sam and then Kat. Kara Lee, go ahead, ma'am.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Nice to see everyone this morning. Hopefully, everyone had a lovely weekend. Happy belated Mother's Day to the mommies in the group, and yeah, it was a lovely weekend. With us here at the Canada Food Cupboard, we've got a few busy weeks ahead. We're trying to do as many plugs and pitches as possible for our first fundraiser of the year. It's the Comedy in Canada event taking place on June the 16th. And yes, that's still a month away. However, the early bird deadline to get the early bird pricing for tickets does end May 15th. So if you're interested in saving the $5 with the early bird price, please purchase your ticket this week. The event is taking place again on June 16th at the Ron Meslin Theatre here in Canada. It's nice to have events local, especially for those of us that hate having to find parking sometimes when we go downtown. I know I definitely do. So it's nice to be able to just drive 10 minutes away and see a show. The headliner this year, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, Bobby Knopf. Some of you may have seen this guy. He's been around the circuit for a while. He's quite popular at Yuck Yucks. And it's going to be a great show. So again, if you're interested in purchasing tickets, you can visit Comedy in Canada Facebook page, or you can hop on canadafoodcupboard.ca, and we've got all the information there. So wishing everyone a great week, and don't forget to support your local food bank. Take care.
Thanks, Kara Lee. And next quick promo is Kat. So again, a reminder, if you got social media content you want to push out there and you leverage the Phoenix Business Exchange platforms, reach out to Kat. And over to Sam and then Kat.
Thank you, Bernie. Good morning, everyone. Sam Sturris, connectedcars.ca. There's my contact information in the chat. Dash cameras, that's why I call myself Dashcam Sam, because I install dash cameras in people's cars, nice and neat, no wires hanging down, right to the fuse panel of the car. I also do other things like minor repairs, oil changes, brake jobs. And this week I want to talk about, car cleaning. I think I asked that question maybe last year, but what's the dirtiest place in your car? What do you think? Well, it's not you. Hopefully. Anyway,
Well, thank you.
it's the floor in your below your driver's seat, right below where you're sitting when you're driving your car. That is the dirtiest spot in most people's cars. Maybe not mine, but anyway. It's where everything comes into your car, the salt from the winter, things that you stepped on maybe by accident, and you went into your car. Anyway, that's the dirtiest spot. And this time of year is when I start car cleaning, car detailing for people. So if you look down and you look at that ugly looking floor in your vehicle and you think, maybe I'll get somebody else to do this cleanup, have them call me. Anyway, you can call me. Let's see here. Besides that, let's see. BAMS wise, yes. Eric, did you get that exhaust system fixed up on your vehicle?
Yes.
He's only nodding yes. That's good because I assumed there was something I wasn't going to be able to do. So I'm glad the noise that you were experiencing is no longer there. And the other person, BAM wise, Dave Beliveau, former Phoenix member, dropped by to see me because he was losing air in one of the tires of his car last Thursday, and he dropped by and I pulled out a 3-inch nail from the tire of his vehicle, fixed him up, and he's been on his way. Also noticed some issues with his new Tesla. Unfortunately, some weather stripping that wasn't installed very well. So he's going to come back and I'm going to fix that up for him later this week. That's it for me, Sam Sturz, ConnectedCars.ca. Oh, yes. By the way, I sent a picture to Kat. I keep her update on the front of our house, and we got green grass now and tulips coming up. It looks like fully like spring in front of our house. No longer snow and ice, thank goodness. Let's see here. I'll finish with that. Sam Sturz, ConnectedCars.ca. Today's mobile electronics without the cost of a vehicle, and a heck of a lot more. I didn't say hell.
Ah, Why, Sam, thank you. Next quick prompt is Mike Wazowski. If you can't make a meeting and you need representation, he can fit that bill and let him call him Bill if you like. But he can come in and represent your company and do the promotion because that's part of the key of being part of the network, getting your message and repeatedly, continuously pushing it out. Kat, over to you, and then we will go to Tony. Go ahead, Kat.
Hey everybody. So you'll hear quite a lot about I do stuff with social media, but that's not all I do. I do many, many things. And the thing I want to tell you about today is follow up. So I'm sure you all book regular meetings and you speak to your customers all the time. Well, I'm assuming I could be wrong here. But the question is, are you using things like CRMs and MailChimp and actually sending out regular email newsletters? Are you telling people what's going on in your business? So are you telling them about the Kanata Comedy event that's coming up? Are you telling them about the workshop that Jacqueline's running? So if you're not putting yourself in front of your customers with a mailing list, why have we not had a conversation? Let's chat, let's get that sorted, and let's put you in front of the people that you need to be in front of. Thank you, Bernie.
That was quick and clean. So the Power Hour today, it's Ben Joya, and that's the link for that information. Mr. Tony Jennis, tell us a story.
Oh, hi, Bernie. I just wanted to direct to Sandy Benoit. She's coming in on my phone. So, Sandy, can you hear us okay?
I can, yes.
Okay, can you hear Sandy there? Okay,
Yes.
Okay, Sandy, go ahead. Tell us what you do.
Okay, good morning, all. I'm Sandy Benoit from Canaan Touch and Towel, founder of an amazing company. It all started with me being visually impaired, and the reason why my company is called Canine Touch and Towel is because when I touch something, it tells me a story. Therefore, I can create a deeper bond between pets and their pet owners through canine massage, through energy work, which includes essential oils and crystals. Not only that, have you ever thought that nutrition and medicine come from the same source? Example, if you take parsley, it can help with cancer, diabetes, and even eyesight. It doesn't help mine, though, unfortunately. And I work with core strengthening as well. Have you ever seen a dog that can sit and not get back up? Well, it's not using its core strengthening, so that's where I come in. I've been in the business for over 30 years, giving tips and exercises to do at home to help pets and their pet owners have a positive change in life. Sandy Benoit, Canine Touch and Towel, 613-762-8869. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Sandy. That's great.
Thank you.
She does wonders to Stella too. So it's our dogs they're amazing energy sources. So I'm Tony Jennis from Higher Self. I'm the spirit guy of the group. I look at everything through energy, which is exactly what it is. That we are that thing. And so when we are around our devices, computers, iPad, anything electronic, it really makes a big difference in our energy. Like Eric is a good example. He's got computers all around him. He's got the Wi-Fi probably in his office. There's a networking system probably not very far from him. So a number of weeks ago, he ended up with a crystal called black tourmaline in a bracelet form, and it absorbs a lot of the energies that he will get on a regular basis. But it does a little more than that for stress and other things. But one of the things I wanted to bring into your awareness is a crystal called shungite. If you are always around, now this is for people like Josh, who have like multiple computers in his office and a networking system, who's always around the EMF thing. You need something a little stronger. So this energy, in the crystals will absorb almost 99% of the EMF that would normally go on your body. It's like a sponge, and you don't have to clear it. It's self-clearing. It's just like soap. You don't have to clean soap. Soap is soap. So it's one of those that are very powerful, and if you are around a lot of electronics, this is the crystal to use in a bracelet form. There's tons of energy here. NASA uses these types of materials so the people in the shuttle won't fry because there's so much electronics. There's got to be like 10 miles of wiring in the shuttle. And the microwaves would not. There's no way anybody would survive in there. So they line the whole thing with things like shungite and other resonators, so it absorbs most of it. So you can get that. So this is where our lives are. We have electronics all around us, and so it's good to protect yourself. If you know somebody who's very down or whatever, this could be one of the reasons. If they're always in front of the computer, they got to get outside, get into the sun, and be able to do things more naturally, And we always have our phones in our pocket. How many people have phones in their back pocket if they're walking around? I know I do, but Sam probably doesn't. He's too busy working on the cars. But anyway, the idea here is try and keep yourself as pure as possible and be able to have that break where there is little or no EMFs that you're collecting. So please do not, whoever is charging their phone beside their bedside table, and the phone is like 2 inches or 2 feet in front of your head on that table, it's got to be at least 8 feet away if you're using your phone as an alarm clock and trying to wake up in the morning. So it shouldn't be charging because it's really, really detrimental to your sleep and stuff. It vibrates over 900 times per second. And this is why we don't get that restful sleep. Anyway, Tony Jennis from Higher Self, we are here to raise your spirits. And ongoing business with Eric, ongoing business with Josh, and went to Penny Lee's potluck there on Friday, which was wonderful. A lot of people were there that I've known, and a couple of people I haven't seen before. So it's a great way to just like the old-fashioned way where we just get together. Everybody brings food, and it's a nice time. So till then, thanks a lot, Bernie. Over to you.
I'm sorry, folks. I do have to go at this moment.
Oh, okay, Sandy.
Oh, thank you, Ken.
Okay, thanks a lot, Sandy. Okay, bye.
Bye, Sandy.
I did have a band with Tony. I forgot to say that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see, you can hang up.
There we go. Hey, folks. My name is Bernie, and those are my contact details, and the kind of the key out of that whole piece is the blog. That blog has all the current podcasts that have been released of recent late, plus the Canada Growth Network and East Trade Winds. A lot of interesting speakers. If feedback. Give me feedback on what you're seeing. I've tried different layouts. Right now, it's a magazine layout, just to present the information a little more outgoing. Bandwise. So Tony and Mike and I met last week. We were talking about a golf tournament and are prepping for one this week. So that's kind of the big piece. East Trade Winds. Jacqueline, Tony showed up for that last week, so thank you so much. And I'm going to stop there because you know what? Kelly is up next. She is the presenter du jour. Over to you, du jour presenter.
Merci, Bernie, du jour. Beaucoup. Thank you very much. Before I forget, because every time I do this, I forget. Ongoing business with Shane Bialis and with Kat Hurd, who has reminded me today to get more up to date on my CRM. So thank you, Kat. It sounds like we're all doing something naughty because we're all neglecting our own business. So thank you for the tone and the reminder for us to get on top of it because it's only going to help ourselves. So thank you, Kat. Much appreciated. So hello, everyone. My name is Kelly Harrigan. I'm your Ottawa and Toronto real estate agent. Thank you, Jacqueline. You actually provided me with a perfect segue. Although you were one of the earlier presenters, you had mentioned for clients to be aware of their emotions in the process of acquiring or the process of remortgaging, refinancing, etc. And that's sort of a little bit about what I wanted to talk to everyone about today. I'm an experienced real estate agent. I haven't actually done the math, multi-million dollars worth of transactions. I'm busy every day, currently working with active buyers, active tenants, a landlord. The business doesn't stop, which is amazing. And I think one of the reasons why I'm so referred now, most of my business is referral or repeat clients at this stage rather than new clients. Although Kat and I are working on strategies for that. Thank you. One of the things I come across the most is how people's emotions cause bumps in the road or roadblocks. Maybe not roadblocks, but definitely navigating the emotional process of buying, selling, even leasing. It's not easy because most of the time when clients come into our world, like Jackie, they're in the middle of a big life transition, and that is objectively difficult. Never mind all of the other parameters and things that they have to consider. So I just wanted to chat a little bit about selling your home in today's Ottawa market specifically and how to prevent your emotions from costing you money. So I've created a little script for myself. I'm going to read off of that. So we're talking about something that every seller underestimates. It's not specifically pricing, it's not specifically staging, it's not specifically marketing. It's their emotions. How the emotional bumps in the road along the journey to sell can impact your bottom dollar. So selling a home is not just a financial transaction. It is actually a very deeply personal experience. And a home is filled with milestones. A home is filled with memories. A home is filled with associations. So today we're going to talk about 5 of the big emotional bumps that prevent you from making money. Bump in the road number 1, your pricing expectations. Let's start with the elephant in the room, because when you're selling your house, you want to sell it for the most money possible, understandably so, and I want to help you do that. However, most conversations with most sellers I have had start with the seller telling me what they think their house is worth. Makes really good sense. They've done the research. We're in a day and age now where people have access to so much information and so many different types of platforms. And now we have AI to validate those perspectives. Keep this in mind, sellers. Whenever you're inputting data into ChatGPT or Gemini or whichever platform you're using, these platforms are specifically designed to skew the output in order to support your perspective. So, sidebar on the bump in the road topic, when you're inputting data into AI, ask it to be objective, analytical, not give you the answer you want, but give you the cold hard facts and the objective truth. because AI will lie to you. So that's a sidebar. So most of what sellers are looking at is how they need a certain price. I've had sellers tell me without a penny of flexibility, I need this specific price for my home. Okay, I think that you should have sold 3 years ago. So that's one of the factors is the market ebbs and flows and changes. So the money that the dollar that they need isn't necessarily going to be reflective of what they sell it for. And sometimes it's nobody's fault. It's just the market, it's the economy, it's the energy around the home. There are mitigating factors that have nothing to do with what the seller individually is doing, what I'm individually doing, but the emotions are very real. So one of my big tips for sellers is to remember that you're creating a presentation of a product, and the people who are going to look at it are coming from a different perspective. They have a very separate point of view, just like you have crunched all of the numbers of the recent solds in your area, and you've looked at your bank account and you've talked to your accountant or your bank and you're looking at your debt load and you have a number in mind. The other side of the transaction, the buyers are doing the same thing. They're also looking at what's in the neighborhood. They're looking at what they can afford. They're looking at some of their must-haves, their need-to-haves, their wants. There would be nice if we had this. And they're evaluating your home from a buyer's lens. So naturally, they're going to look at the same thing as you from a lower, let's lower the price, and you're looking at it as a seller from let's get the highest price we can. So somewhere in the middle is where we usually land. But the emotions, that driving force of I need this is the greatest home, I've got so many memories, how can they not appreciate X, Y, Z? How come they don't see how great this, that, the other thing is? That carries value. Maybe not. Maybe the things that you think as a homeowner are extra special, the buyers think are banal or uninteresting or a detriment. So we have to get really, really realistic about the lens that we're looking through as we're presenting it and as we're determining and declaring what price we need. It's really good to manifest and put out there, I need this price, this is what I'm going to get. You might be right. Maybe you will. And that's amazing. Let's go for that. But as we proceed through the process, we come to emotional bump number 2, showing feedback. Now, one of my roles as a real estate agent is to reflect back to you what I'm hearing from the buyers. So sometimes the feedback is, too many small repairs, seems like a lot of work. Great. As a presenting agent, as a selling agent, my goal is to help the sellers mitigate all of these little micro criticisms ahead of time, which means before we list, we're calling service professionals or we're doing it ourselves. We have to fix that loose banister. We want to straighten that crooked lighting fixture. All of these little things have an impact when we're presenting the home because we want it to be pristine and fresh because we want to get the highest price possible. So my eagle eyes are scanning and looking at everything. However, buyers also have eagle eyes because the buyers are looking at your sale going, well, this door frame is a little crooked, and that's not just cosmetic, that's structural. So we should consider offering $10,000 less. That's just going to happen. However, as a seller, you might have gone through the experience of having Kelly tell you, fix this, and this, and you've done it. Thank you. You're amazing. We're ready to present. And then you hear one point of feedback that I disagreed, we didn't need to do it, or they're milking the scenario and saying, oh, well, because of this, we need to be offering much less. As a seller, that's going to hit differently. As a seller who's already in the emotional situation, who's already in a scenario where you have to sell for whatever reason, either debt, life changes, different chapter in your life, a new job opportunity, a new baby, whatever the reason, all of that change is stirring up your your feels. So when you're hearing your buyer feedback and they're like, well, there is a crack in the counter, so we're going to offer $8,000 less because we're going to have to replace the whole kitchen. That will feel big for you. So I always encourage my buyers to brace themselves for the worst possible feedback. And if they have the skill set, if they're able to depersonalize it, just pretend that you're reading a news article and you're hearing from a reporter, today's late breaking news, there's a chip in the counter. Okay? It's just a thing that they're bringing forward. They're trying to play a game of chess. It's a strategy for buyers. I would be disappointed in a buying agent if they didn't say, well, here's the laundry list of things that are wrong, which is why we need a lower price. Because that means they're not doing their job for their buyers. So I would expect people to chip away at their perceived value of the home, and it's gonna hurt you. It's gonna harm you. I'm getting a little note from one of our viewers. Many homeowners think that having a pool is a huge benefit, but a lot of buyers are going to absolutely remove it from their list of options because they don't want an in-ground pool. That is one perfect example. A seller will say, this pool was $9,000, $10,000, $12,000 to install, and it's given our family so many memories. And a buyer's like, how much is it going to cost to buy the earth to fill it in? And how much is it going to cost to get the sod to grass over it? So same thing, different points of view, different emotional experiences. Another point, so whenever we're receiving the feedback, I always try to consider it just a data set. That's all we're doing is we're looking at the items. We're going to hear similar items, hopefully, from different people. If we're hearing inconsistent feedback, that means we've done a really good job presenting it, and different strokes for different folks. They're giving their personal perspective. You're taking it from your personal perspective. So let's keep our powder dry. Let's be calm and cool about the whole thing and just listen so we can educate ourselves and understand our strategic positioning better. The third fear, bump in the road, is the fear of leaving money behind. That becomes a bit of a trap emotionally during the negotiating process. So picture this. You've called me, Kelly, I need to sell my house because of whatever the reason. Great, let's get going. I do a pre-listing inspection. I look at your home. Sorry, here are the 75 things that I would like you to fix before this date, because this is when I'm scheduling the photographs, this is when I'm scheduling the staging, etc. So as a seller, I've done all of these fixes. I think it's amazing. Perfect. These fixes cost me $3,000, and I don't have an extra $3,000, but I'm digging deep and I'm borrowing, begging, not stealing money to get my $3,000 to make Kelly happy so that we can sell the place for top dollar. I get it. You're doing this because that $3,000 will put us at the head of the competition, because really and truly, when you're selling your house, you're competing with other houses. You're competing with other sellers. We want our listing to be the best in the area. We work with what we've got, right? If we only have $500 in the kitty to do some renos, perfect. We're going to strategically do that. Then, when it comes to negotiating time, we need to know the buyers are going to offer less than market value. That's just what's going to happen. The emotional bump in the road of the fear of leaving money on the table happens every single time, 100% of the time. Well, we can't accept this amount because what happens when next week someone else offers us more? We can't, go down this much because that's a difference of $4,000 from what I was expecting on my sale. That is below my bottom line. And that fear drive is going to stall the momentum of the process. Now, I can't tell you in this presentation what amount of money quantifiably is considered a low ball. This is all theoretical. But what I can tell you is that every single seller, when the first offer has come, has been shocked because It's lower than what the number is and they had in their mind. Keep in mind, whenever we discussed the pricing strategy, we will have spoken about, like, this is when the conversations happen, when I remind them of our previous conversations. I will always prepare you. I will always tell you, here's what's going to happen next. Brace yourself, take a minute, have a tea and a cookie, because the numbers are going to start coming in and it's going to shock your rocks. So be ready for that. Be prepared, because if we get up in our emotions, we're running a risky process. If we're up in our emotions, we risk losing a very good offer, even if it is a little bit less than expectation. Different presentation for a different day. Not all offers are created equal. We might be receiving an offer that has excellent terms, excellent conditions. Nothing is a red flag. It's just a little bit below market value. So that's when we need to look at things like, how valuable is your timeline? If we're really, really emotional about things, we can't evaluate those things clearly. It's really, really hard to do. It's hard to make it clear-headed, because ultimately the seller is the driver of the process. You're behind the wheel. You're driving that car. Dashcam Sam will tell you. He's so you're the decision maker. The caution, once again, is to stay out of your emotions. And that brings me to the emotional bump number 4, which is the negotiation process. So the fear of losing money when it comes to home preparation is real. When you're emotional and we're in the negotiation process, it can feel really intense. It can be really intense, which is why we encourage you to go to Jacqueline's presentations or Tony's meditations to help stay grounded. Because when we're in the negotiation process, I hate to tell you, you're going to hear from me more than you want to. I know I'm lovely, blah, blah, but I'm on that phone and you're at work. And I'm like, I need an answer on this in the next 20 minutes sometimes. And it's triggering, it's immediate, it's stressful, it is full of stress. And that's when we can lose our head. And that's when we lose the power of negotiating. Don't worry, I will keep you on track. I'm basically asking you to keep yourself grounded so I can do my job easier without having to do too much emotional leveling for you, because I want to be 100% your negotiating viper. I want to be going for exactly what I want, how I want for you, because I'm representing you. But if I'm also trying to balance your emotions, it takes an extra bit of effort. And I'm not saying I need you to do this for me. I need you to do this for you. I need you to try with every tool you have in your toolbox to stay regulated during the negotiation process, because it can get very intense. And if we're too emotional and we have a really good offer and we throw it away, that's when we get into a situation where, oh no, we lost a really, really solid buyer. And we need to start that whole relationship and that whole process from scratch for the next one. It's not the end of the world. We'll get there in the end. But if we can get there sooner than later, calmer than more dysregulated, happier than more anxious, we're winning the process. We're amazing and we're on fire. That's what I want for all of my sellers. The other one is something that I have preemptive calls before the listing process. So far in this chat, we've talked about when I get that phone call, I need to sell right away. And then I give some guidance, and it's the fear of spending money on renovations. And then it's the fear, the bump in the road of um, leaving money on the table. And then the bump in the road of during negotiation. There's another type of seller that I deal with who are planning a sale gently, lightly, in a little while. They want to sell. They know that chapter is in their life is approaching, but they're not really sure when. So I'm getting these phone calls asking, well, what renovations should I do? What should I do to maximize the value of my home? Amazing question. Good question. My counter question is, how long do you plan on living there? So perhaps one of the bumps in the road is people overcomplicating their own personal analysis when they still live there and they still plan to live there for 5, 10, 12 more years. I actually get these phone calls on the regular saying, well, we think when my daughter graduates university that we'll probably sell because we'll have an empty nest. Great. How old is your daughter? She's 12. Okay. Good question. My other question is, do you really plan to live here during that time? So the reason I bring this up is I consider it a bump in the road because people sometimes get overly complicated prioritizing a long-term future sale over what's going to make you happy. Do you really love the way that your kitchen is laid out? Are you going to be there for another 5 years? Will putting $8,000 into a renovation make those 5 years better? Do you have the financial wiggle room? Do you need to call our mortgage honey and say, look, I need a little bit of extra cash to do this home improvement? Is the home improvement going to make you happy, or is the home improvement strictly strategic? I will give you two very different answers depending on which scenario is which. Are you going to be there for a long time? Great. Make yourself happy. Put the pool in. Put a DJ booth out back. Respect noise bylaws. Do what's going to make you happiest. Because when you're happy, you're creating a beautiful home environment. And when it comes time to sell, people walk through that door and they feel it. They feel the joy in your home. They feel the quality of the collective experiences and good times that have been there. That is something that people respond to. It's not a quantifiable, it's the it factor. When people walk through the door and they feel that feeling that people try to recreate by baking cookies, that feeling is what people feel. That's what's going to sell your home. So when it comes to your renovation expectations, watch out for that emotional bump in the road. Try not to get too analytical. Try to make some decisions for your benefit too. What's going to make you feel happiest and what's going to make you squeeze as much joy out of your property as humanly possible while you're going to be there. So that's sort of it. I know I threw a lot at you and I want to give an opportunity for questions. Basically, to reframe it and to present a final thought is staying grounded will always lead to better outcomes. I guess you could say that in all things in life, but specifically when it comes to selling your home, the more down to earth, grounded we can be, and I got you, I'm with you in the process. When we lose our footing, I'll be there to support you and stabilize you. But if we can keep our powder dry, keep our heads in the game, price it strategically, present it properly, respond to the market intelligently. The market is those offers coming in. If we can respond with intelligence, strategy, and care, that is actually prioritizing your long-term goal more than getting very emotional and reacting and resenting. So let's try to stay grounded during the whole process and work together as a team because we're all pulling in the same direction. We want the highest dollar for your home.
Kelly, thank you. Does anybody have a question for Kelly? Polls otherwise?
Just a quick question. When it comes to timelines, where the seller has to sell, like let's say within 60 days because they got to move to another place, and there's that stress that, oh, I got to sell my home to go to the next one. I know there's bridge financing with Jacqueline. I guess she does that as well. But yeah, what kind of, I mean, in a market that things can sell within 12 days, but all of a sudden it's 2 weeks. Some of the houses that we have seen, they're like 3-4 months still on the market, and so
Yeah, that absolutely breaks my heart when I see that. Carolee, I see your question. You'll be coming next. I I always price to sell. I do a very probably annoyingly thorough comparative market data analysis, and I present it to my clients, and they look at me, you know that GIF where like you're staring and there's just like numbers floating around behind you, and they're like, what is this? That's me doing the math, showing them the range of exactly what their home is worth. And then if they are in a rush, we're going to price it on that lower range. And I'm going to be really realistic with them and say, look, if you want to sell and fast, buyers need to feel like they're getting a bargain, but we're going to give this much of a bargain. We're going to give a tiny bit of a bargain. We're not going to give a big, big bargain because part of their overall timeline and arch, basically, I have like their super objective, their highest goal is to get out of their house as soon as possible and get on to the next thing for as quickly as possible for whatever reason. There's a million different reasons, right? But it is in their highest and best interest to move forward. Let's let it go. Let's get her done. Here's the bottom range. Here's why I think we should sell at this range because of your personal circumstances. This is where we're going to list roughly. And here's what we're going to expect. And here's what we're probably going to land on. And if that is an acceptable strategy to the seller, it's always up to the seller. I present that as a strategy possibility. If they're not okay with it, we pivot and we let the chips fall where they may. If they're really, really stuck on $5,000, for example, that $5,000 when presenting a distressed or rush property sale can make a difference. But if they have a little bit of time flexibility, let's try. Let's try for that extra $5,000. Let's do that. Let's do it. If it doesn't make a difference for them and their big goal is to just get on to the next thing, that's a different conversation. Ultimately, they always decide. Now, my most recent Barhaven sale, it was a very interesting scenario because we sold in 2 days. Meanwhile, other homes in the same neighborhood, the same kind of home with the same layout, have been sitting on the market for 30, 40 days because this particular seller felt emotionally insecure about the value of their home. And their emotions were actually driving the price down. Their emotions were telling me, they were literally saying, I don't think it's worth that much. I know you did the math. I bought it for this much and I don't think it's worth that much. And we had some discussions, lengthy discussions. We had to have micro discussions, leave it alone, come back another day. And we had to talk about the price. We talked about pricing for about 3 weeks. Finally, this seller let me price it higher, but not as high as I wanted to go. And because it was less than the true market value, it sold almost instantly. So every circumstance is different. Does that answer your question, Tony?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Sorry about that.
Go ahead, Carolee.
Yeah.
Hi, Kelly. Great
Hi.
presentation. And I'm looking at this kind of from a personal perspective because this is where my mom is, right? She's one of these, we need to sell that house. She's 80 years old. It's a massive house, like it's 4,000 square feet on an acre of property. But this is in small town Newfoundland, a massive house. Anyway, to sum up, the projects aren't just fixing that banister, straightening out that light fixture. What needs to be done on this 50-year-old house is the windows need to be replaced. The driveway needs to be resurfaced. Like the list is really long. So at what point do you tell sellers of her nature to spend, the $100,000, whatever it needs to be spent to do all these major projects, or just list it as is and let's sell it?
That is a
That's
great,
a tough, she's going back and forth, right? It's not just spend $10,000 and get the interior painted. The list is pretty long. So at what point do you say to your sellers, let's just list it for what it is? Because perhaps the new buyer is going to come in and gut the house. I mean, who knows, right? So
correct. Yeah, those are
that's my
amazing
question.
questions. Yeah. So I would be asking some deeper personal questions if I was representing your mom. And I would be asking, for example, do you have enough money to sustain your continued retirement? Do you have much money liquid? Those are fact-finding questions because if they have a lot, let's pretend mommy is so wealthy because she won Lotto 649. but she just wants to be out of her house and she's ready to be in a condo with her neighbors. That is a different scenario. So the personal details of an individual's lives are also going to be deciding factors in this assessment. That being said, the two things that you described are very different. You described windows and driveway. Windows, not cosmetic. Driveway resurfacing sure needs to be done, but a driveway can also be resurfaced by getting new dirt or a quick gravel delivery. Boom, new driveway, much cheaper than resurfacing. There are some renovations that we can modify based on the budget available. How bad are the windows? Are they just old? Are they still functioning? Okay, well, if they're still functioning, great. We, I've got myself one of those infrared um, guns. How much heat are we losing out of these windows? How bad is it? What are the 7 estimates from your local service professionals? Can we pivot them against each other and get this renovation done? Saying, well, service professional A is willing to do it for $4,000. Service professional B is quoting 6. Can you come down to 4? Then we have 2 service professionals at a lower price range. Great. Can you go any lower? Lowest bid wins, highest delivery wins. And that's where we get into working with service professionals. We want to find that happy medium where the service professionals are being respected, their work is being respected, but the budget of our seller is being respected. So those are pre-sale negotiating negotiations. Some of the intrinsic systems in rural properties, like what you're describing, a septic tank, for example, that's probably too big of a beast to take on. Really and truly, that's when we would go, the septic tank's original, it's still working, it's old, but original is 60 years old. We're just going to declare that in our listing and we're going to price it appropriately, knowing, okay, well, we're not going to put that time, energy, and expense into completely replacing the septic or the the septic tank because it's such a big project and it will really disturb mom's life. It will really disturb the ground, the earth. So we're going to lower the price because keep in mind when we're presenting photos, we're presenting an aesthetic, and then we've got this photo of a brand new septic system, which is great, which to buyer looks like a bunch of dirt on the yard. So we're going to look at all of these factors and evaluate. Most likely, we're not going to drill a new well. Most likely, we're not going to put in a new septic system. We could do some roof repairs. Absolutely. We could replace a few windows, especially the leakiest ones, for sure. But we might be able to do a scale that is good enough to highlight the improvements to show that there has been thought and care going into the well-being and the preservation and the maintenance of the home. Buyers want to know that. Buyers want to know, did you do anything or is it just neglect? Did you just what am I looking at? Because then the buyers are going to go, well, if they didn't do a single repair in 30 years, what am I not seeing? What does the electrical look like behind the walls? What about rodents? Those are things that they're thinking of. So it behooves us to do some essential upgrades. If the budget doesn't allow for all of them, that's okay. We'll fully declare it. We're going to say very openly, this has yet to be done. This is functioning, but it's original. This is functioning, but it's original. This one, we've contacted these contractors and we're in negotiation. We will do this before closing. That's another possibility. So those are all options. I can only give my best advice based on the circumstances of the seller, and it's up to the seller to ultimately make that decision. Their money, their call. Does that help at all? Did I just give you a non-answer?
You give
It's
an
actually
answer. You have to
conversation.
wait. You have to wait. You have to weigh what's going to give you money back and where you're sinking a cost you can't recover.
Yeah.
Bathrooms, kitchens.
Most of the time. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Bathrooms and
cost
kitchens.
versus reward, right? Yeah.
But people are very concerned about major systems these days too. They're really concerned about the HVAC, the air conditioner, windows, and roofs. Those are especially, or I think out east they say roof rather than roof. The roof. The rough. So they're looking at the total picture. Buyers are very educated these days. They know They have the interwebs, a lot of them. That's a joke, by the way, like an old person joke. They have a lot of resources at their fingertips and they're using those resources. But they also, so as an educated seller, we're going to want to know, does our province currently offer any rebates for a new HVAC system? Great. Rather than me replacing it, I'm going to advertise to the buying agents, look, you're going to get $9,000 back from your provincial government when you replace this. This is why we didn't do this. You get to pick your own system. We know that it's old. We know that you're going to have to put some money in. It's only going to cost you this much though. So those are other details that weigh and are pertinent regarding these major decisions.
Okay.
And at 9:06, we're going to wrap it up with a quote for the day. The fastest way to become insanely confident is to become dangerously competent. That's from Leah Hormozy.